What's going on, Gifted Hands family? We are back, and today we're doing something different. We are going to be doing a review of the Arturia AstroLab. We've partnered with the folks over at Sweetwater, and they sent this board over to us to review. So we will be diving into 15 of my favorite patches. I've been spending the last couple of weeks with it, and I'm just gonna show y'all some of my favorite patches that I've found, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of playing, not too much talking. So if you're ready, let's dive into the first patch of this Arturia AstroLab keyboard. So patch number 1 is Bill's Best Jazz. Here it is. We're gonna start off with the piano patch. So that was the first patch. That's Bill's Best Jazz. It's just some type of acoustic grand piano patch that they had on here. I don't think most people would buy this board for the piano patches. They sound great. If you're looking at your effects section, you can adjust your reverb here. Here's full reverb. All right, we can crank that down. We got delay on here. All right, you got your effects here, and then these are 2 assignable effects banks. So right now it has chorus and a phaser on effects A and effects B. And then over here in this instrument section, we can affect different parameters of our instrument. So we got brightness, timbre, time, which is normally like your release knob, and then movement, which sometimes is like an LFO thing. For this piano, it's just like a mic position. So you can kind of affect the way the sample sounds. But yeah, that's Bill's Best Jazz. Let's go on to the next one. So patch number 2 is like a hybrid piano patch. We're still in the piano category, the piano bank, and it's called 8-bit piano pad. Check it out. All right, so if I adjust the brightness knob here, I just want to show y'all what some of these effects and controls do. Here's with the brightness all the way down. All right, and then let's open it up. Let's go to timbre. Oh, so we can kind of remove the pad if we adjust that knob. Turn the pad up or down. So maybe we just want more piano. All right, that's the timbre. And then we got the time, I think, which is just a release, probably for the pad. Yep. So it's a really long release. If we adjust the time knob, it gives it a short release time. And then our movement, let's see what that does. Brings in like an LFO. Okay, so that is the second patch, which is the 8-bit piano pad. Let's jump into the next one. So for patch number 3, we're jumping into the electric piano section, and we got something called DX Rhodes and Rhodes, all right? So here's what it sounds like. All right, that is the DX Rhodes and Rhodes Classic EP. Some of the effects that we got over here is a chorus mix, which, yo, the chorus on this board right here is actually incredible. It gives me like the Jupiter kind of rolling chorus vibes. Like if I crank it all the way up, here's what it sounds like. Or let's go by 25%. Right, here's 0% with the chorus. And let's actually take the reverb out too. No reverb, no chorus. And we'll add in a little chorus, a little reverb. Right? So that is patch number 3, which is the DX Rhodes and Rhodes. Let's go to number 4. So patch number 4 is, I don't even know how to say it. It's a lead sound though. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. FEMME outro lead. So here's what it sounds like. All right, so that's one of the lead sounds right there. Let's go into another one. All right, so patch number 5 is MG solo synth, like a Moog solo synth. All right, so here it is. All right, so that is the Moog solo synth. And I love how this effects panel is just so simple and easy to adjust your parameters. So this effects knob A is just adjusting kind of like an EQ curve that they got. Effects knob B for this specific patch is a chorus. We got our delay here and our reverb on the end. So that is the Moog, the MG solo synth. All right, patch number 6 is a cinema layer. It's like a hybrid piano. Here it is. All right, that is the cinema layer. Patch number 7 is another hybrid piano, and it's called piano strings layer. Here it is. So that is the piano strings layer. Let's jump to the next patch. Patch number 8 is a bright chorus EP. Let's dive into it. All right, that is the bright chorus EP. Let's jump to the next patch. Patch number 9 is going to be a rooftop EP, and we're gonna rock out with some Stevie Wonder. Here we go. All right, that is the Rooftop EP. I like the grit. It's got some bite to it. It's real aggressive. And of course, you can adjust the sound, the effects, the EQ, all of those things just like in all the other patches, all right? So like, let's see, we wanted to make it a little bit less bright. We got that. Let's see, we can change the timbre. Oh, that's really gonna take more of the top end off of it, more of the brightness off of it. It'll mellow it out, so we got that. Ooh, we got some tremolo going on there, that's cool. And then I think this is the speed of the tremolo maybe. So that's really dope. And then in our effects bank, sounds like a phaser or something. Like a phaser send. And what's effects B? Yeah, they're just like two types of kind of phasers. And then you got your delay and your reverb. Cool. So that is that patch. Let's go into the next one. All right, we are on patch number 10, and this is going to be called Dirt Droning Lead. It's a lead sound, and here's what it sounds like. All right, that is the lead sound. All right, so if we change some of the knobs on here, we got our brightness knob. So that's taking off, I guess, kind of EQing it. Taking off some of the top end. Ooh, and then this is adjusting the tone, almost like a distortion type of thing going on. And then our time knob affects, I think, just a release. And then what happens if we mess with the movement? All right, so that's what some of the adjustments that can be made on this patch. Let's go into the next one. So we're jumping into patch number 11, which is the Dirty Harry lead. Here's what it sounds like. All right, so that's a fun one. It's like a poly lead, which is really cool. You're able to play multiple notes, because a lot of the leads on here are they're programmed as monophonic. You may be able to change it from mono to poly, but this is a dope polyphonic lead. Let's check the next patch out, all right? All right, the next patch up, we're getting into some of the fun synthesizer stuff that's on this board. So the next one is going to be like a classic synth keys patch called the Classic Road. So here it is. All right, that is a classic Rode. And I think, does this have the, oh no, it has a distortion programmed for the FX1 bay, and then has a phaser. So let's see what the phaser would sound like. Oh yeah. So that phaser sounds really good, and then of course you can kick up your reverb and your delay as well. Woo, yeah. And then something I haven't even really talked about is also you're able to EQ it. So if you hit shift and then under each of the knobs, the control parameters, there's like a secondary parameter. So you have like bass, mids, trebles where you can affect your EQ. Then over here you got the intensities of each effects that's programmed here. Then you got like your time, which probably your like an attack knob, and decay knob as well over here. So there's more than just the parameters that are listed. It's like 2 for each knob, essentially. Like maybe I want it brighter, so let's crank the treble up. Let's crank it up a little bit more. All right, so that is the classic Rode. Let's jump into the next patch. All right, the next patch is called the Book of Memories, and this is in the lo-fi keys category, so here's what it sounds like. That is the Book of Memories patch. Let's move on to the next one. All right, the next patch is called Whipping It Stack, and it's a keys patch, but it really sounds like it's a mono patch, so it really sounds like a lead, but here it is. All right, so. All right, so that is the Whipping It Stack. All right, the next patch up is going to be, or the next preset I should say, is going to be the Juno Blend, and this is one of the pads, all right? So here's what it sounds like. So if we affect the phaser, got phaser and we got flanger. That is the Juno blend. Let's jump into the next patch. All right, so the very last patch for today's video is going to be the Arturia Mystic Split. It's a wind synth. It's under the brass section, brass category, so here's what it sounds like. All right, that is the Arturia Mystic Split. If we were gonna change some of the controls on here, we got our brightness knob. It's the brightness knob. That's the timbre. Makes it real punchy, like real pluck. It brings out the pluck sound. Let's see what the time knob does. Oh, it affects the attack. Okay. And then what does the movement knob do? Woo! So, I don't know, it puts it in like a space. It kind of moves the split, the bottom half of the keyboard into like, it sounds like it's in a room almost, like a reverb mix. This is just an EQ, it's saying. We got a chorus. Yeah, that chorus, this chorus is top notch. Let's see the delay. Oh, also, and then like for the delay, if you want to, I believe we go shift and then tempo, yep. And then that allows you to, whoops, I changed the patch, but you hit shift tempo, and that allows you to change the tempo for, I think which is like a master tempo, so it'll affect all of the different effects presets. It'll sync it to that tempo knob right there. But anyway, yeah, so that is it. So we're gonna wrap up this review. I'm just gonna give y'all quickly my final thoughts on this keyboard. Overall, I absolutely love this Arturia AstroLab. Essentially what they did, I think, is take their lab's software and they threw all of it into a board. So you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of presets. I still haven't even made it through all of the presets on this board. It's absolutely incredible. Aesthetically, like, it looks beautiful. The wood grain on the side, it feels like it's a really strong, like a really good build quality. I love that it's simple, honestly. Like a lot of boards, some of the other boards that I play, like we have a Roland at our church, a Roland, the new Jupiter, and that keyboard is so complex to save patches, to navigate through it. I love how simple this is, right? You have each individual category laid out very simply, and then even when it comes to your parameters for your instrument controls, you got brightness, They even simplified the language. Like instead of saying, oh, this is a like a shelf, a high shelf or something, or instead of saying this is a like a high pass filter, they said it's brightness. It's the brightness knob. This is the timbre knob. It's gonna change the sound of the instrument, right? This is your time. So it's usually gonna deal with your like attack or your release on whatever patch you have pulled up. And then you got a movement knob, which adds some type of just movement to the patch, right? That could be an LFO, that could be some type of tremolo even for like EPs, but there's going to affect the way that the patch moves, which is really cool. And just simplistic, I love it. And then if you hit your shift button, you got your volume, bass, mids, trebles, like your EQ controls, which is really simple, really straightforward. Your effects knobs, delay and reverb are easy to see. They're within like arm's reach. I don't have to dig into the board. Like a lot of boards, you have to dig into the user menu to even get to the effects. So I love how everything is just right here in front of you. You can turn them on, you can turn them off. Power knobs right there. Your volume knob is right here. Like this board is just like, they didn't do too much. Like, they kept it simple and it works. And then on top of that, the sounds are absolutely incredible. I actually reviewed Arturia Labs, the software, and had talked about how like I'm diving more and more into it, and they didn't miss. Like this board I think is great for if you're like I said, an aux keyboard player, if you play in church, if you play aux, you know, like secondary keys for your church, and you're programming synth sounds and leads and pads and different things like this, it has everything you need. If you're a producer, right? Like I'm honestly, like as I'm reviewing this, I'm comparing it to kind of like Omnisphere. Like, yo, I don't need to open up Omnisphere every time I'm going to produce a record, like produce a track. I can just turn this board on and use this instead. Like this is a great substitute, okay? So yeah, for producers, it works. For folks who like, who want to get an intro to sound design, because it's not like a full-fledged analog synth, it's not gonna have as much flexibility when it comes to dialing in exact sounds. You kind of have to go from the presets and then dial it in from there. But for sound design, like an introduction to sound design, I think this is a great place to start. I think the board is right around $1,800, something like that. If you're interested in buying this board, we do have an affiliate link with Sweetwater, so you can support this channel, you can support Gifted Hands Music by purchasing all of your instrument needs through our affiliate link. That would be great. And then I think the only beef that I have with this board, the only negative thing that I have to say is that it takes a long time to load up. Like, so turning the board on, loading it up, and also as you're going through the different patches, I think what I realized is that there's different sound banks, right? So if you're using whatever they have that samples pianos, right? If you're staying in that specific like sample-based instrument, whatever it is, and you're going through patches in that particular patch, right? Then it loads up pretty quick. But like if I go from a piano to a synthesizer, or if I even go from like maybe a Juno emulated synth to a Mellotron synth or something, it takes a while to load up those sounds. It's not instant. Sometimes it can take, like I can count to 5 and that joint will still not be loaded. So that's my only beef with this. Other than that, really dope board. Definitely check it out. And I will see y'all in the next lesson. Peace out, have a great day.